Hello my lovelies, how are we today? I'm taking a moment to film this video because it's been a while since I posted a video. I have gotten into the swing of recording on my own time, figuring out moments where I can sneak a message in, but I somehow have only managed to upload one video so far, and that's just not going to cut it. As we know, we've got to show up for ourselves if we're trying something new. If we want to shift the energy, we can't do it halfway and wait for the rest to just fall into our laps. I, speaking for myself, could benefit from a bit more consistency and a bit more resilience when it comes to setting a path for my future. Because so far, allowing things to happen is beautiful and it's helpful in so many ways. However, I feel if we just let everything happen to us, we are giving up a lot of our sovereignty to happenstance. So, although things may not be perfect in my life, my setup, etc., I know that there's a community of people out there who are going to benefit from and grow with the messages that I share, the progress that I make, and even the lessons that I learn along the way. So here we are, creating a video. And this video, I'm hoping, will be a message for you to persevere if you've started on something, or if you've even been thinking about starting something new or intimidating, or that you're not an expert in, or that you haven't practiced in a while. You'll never get better if you sit still. You'll never be recognized for something that you've never done. You may not be perfect in the beginning. You may not be the expert in the beginning. That's a given. We see these shows like America's Got Talent, and we think that that's how life should be. The part that we see, where someone gets a big break and overnight everything works out. And while that happens every once in a while, remember that most of those people have been working hard, consistently, holding on to a dream that perhaps other people around them had given up on or even laughed at. So why do we fixate on whether we're going to get through to the next round when we haven't even started trying to be good? And who defines what's good anyway? I mean, let's be honest, we all have our strengths. We also all have our weaknesses. But most people who do whatever it is they do are not the best of the best in the entire universe. But they bring something unique. They bring their own essence to it. They bring their own energy to it. And when you're in alignment with something like that, I feel like it brings power to the path that you choose. So if you've been hesitating on getting started, or if perhaps you, like me, got started and then started moving in ways that didn't fully reach your initial expectations, you can always shift, reset, and move forward in a way that will strengthen your integrity, your dreams, your passions, and your goals. I also want to add that if life distracts you from your dreams, which it tends to do, know that you do have the power to revisit them and to dedicate time and energy into bringing them into reality. It doesn't have to be witnessed or supported by anyone else until the time is ready, until it becomes manifest. I'm posting this video. I don't care. I've made so many excuses in the past when I've recorded and then I've gone back and said, oh, well, you know, I don't know, I don't have time to review this, or I don't think that this makes much sense, or I don't think anyone will like this. And so I have all these videos on my phone that have not been posted at all. And even now, recording this, as I was so called and inspired to do, my tripod broke and I decided to record anyway. So if there's a bit of wobbliness in the screen, that's because I'm literally holding a broken tripod in place, and I tend to gesticulate. I use my hands a lot when I speak. So we still persevered, and I am still posting because it's worth it. It's worth it to get used to trying, putting forth your best effort, and not giving up on yourself when you're not the overnight success you imagined you'd be after simply having the idea. We have to be real, at least with me. Sometimes that's how it feels. Like, I think, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I kind of like do the bare minimum to get started, and then it's like, well, that didn't take off. That's not a fair shot. This is a fair shot. And so I hope that if you're watching this, that you feel called to pursue your dreams and to persevere, to live in a reality that's aligned with who you are at your core, in whatever way that manifests for you. I know for myself, I love my yoga. I'm a yoga teacher. How am I going to be bigger than that? Or how am I going to give myself space to expand from that point if I treat my yoga practice as though it's unimportant? If I treat things as if they're just mundane and routine and put in just as much effort as I need to in order to get from one week to the other. Showing up with full effort, knowing that you might not see the change initially, but knowing that it's building a strong foundation and it's building integrity. And those are the things that are required for a strong future, for an empire, for a legacy. It may seem outlandish or outdated to say those things, but think about it. We all leave behind a legacy, our personal story, how we showed up, what we brought into the lives of others, the influence we had on the community and the world. But you can't make an impact just by being completely still, doing nothing, and hiding away from all the gifts that your limited time here on earth have to give you if you were to just interact with the energy. Well, all of that being said, I am going to continue to make steps forward. And, you know, one way or another, I am going to be consistent with this channel. And if you have any words of encouragement or even advice, I am happy to take that. But it will be funny when I have that consistent posting schedule and hopefully a nice little group, a nice little tribe who's along for the ride with me, to look back on the first few videos and think, why why was it so hard to get the ball rolling? Why was it so hard to get started? But I think we all do know that feeling. I think we all do know that struggle. And so you're not alone if that's where you are right now. And together, we're going to rise above the procrastination. We're going to rise above the self-doubt, and we are going to blossom into the most abundant period of our lives, because we're tapping into our gifts, to our soul's purpose, to our truest self. I'm proud of you for seeing it within yourself, and I am so thankful for your journey being a mirror to my soul. I feel like whoever is receiving this message at whatever time, I feel that I was called to make this message for your ears, and therefore your story is feeding into my purpose. So thank you for that. But all of that being said, because I am just beginning and I'm so excited to continue growing and glowing up and all of that, please leave in the comments any feedback you may have for my channel. I do realize this is not an ideal setup right now, but I just had to record. So thank you for listening, and until next time.